Professor Mateo Gutierrez from Spain, he could not come. I would request his son, Professor Francisco Gutierrez, to come on the dais and to collect the memento. We get hardly chance to see both father and son in the same university as Professor of Geomorphology. We have seen Arthur and Strahler, and then we are seeing this Gutierrez family. Professor Paula Freddy. A very famous, common and young dynamic lady from Italy. Yes, Paula, it's an honor. I would request Professor Paula to say a few words.
Well, I will say only a few words because I'm very moved and I think that my voice is trembling. It's a great honor for me to receive such high award and especially to receive it together with some high personality of IAG. I will do all what I can in the future to help for IAG success. And I want to thank deeply the President, IAG President Eric Fouache, and all the members of the Executive Committee for considering me worthy of receiving such high award. Let me share this award with the Italian Association of Physical Geography and Geomorphology, of which I've been the president for 6 years, and in particular with my teacher, Professor Lupia Palmieri, who started teaching me geomorphology at the beginning of the 70s, and he is still doing that, even nowadays. Thank you so much for everything.
Professor Jean-Pierre Peulvast. It's an honor for us.
For me too. I want to thank deeply my colleagues, the president of the IAG, and all of my colleagues whom I met during these conferences of the IAG. During my 50 years of work in geomorphology, of field work, and when I began modestly to make the field work for my research. I never imagined that one day I should have to pay the price for this field work with the operation I must have for my leg, and this stick is deeply welcome. Well, I thank you very much for this honor, and I hope I will continue to serve the geomorphology. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes.
I would like to congratulate each of you. The award of Honorary Fellow was created to acknowledge the scientific production, the involvement of scientists above the average. I know each of you, or I had the opportunity in the last 30 years to interact with each of you. I know your value as a scientist, but also as a man and a woman. And for me, the two things are important. A good scientist needs to be a model also on an ethic point of view, on a personal point of view. Each of you is a model for the young geomorphologists. Thank you very much for your involvement for the discipline. Now, a small comment. This stick is coming from UAE. It is a traditional stick from the tribe in Musandam Peninsula. The model of the axes go back to the Bronze Age, and it's still to be the traditional stick in the mountain. So you can fight against the snakes, you can walk, and you can show some geomorphological features to students. So this stick means you're still to be here for geomorphology. Thank you very much.
And lastly, Professor Savindra Singh. I would request Professor Singh to say a few words.
Oh my God, I consider myself young among the galaxy of very senior geomorphologists here. So today just now I have started feeling young because I am running only 75. So I am very proud of this fact. And secondly, on behalf of our country and the fraternity of geomorphologists, this is a great honor for us. This is not for me. I don't think whether I deserve or not. It is for the geomorphological fraternity of India. It is devoted to the Indian Institute of Geomorphologists. It is devoted to all of us who are working in this precarious field. So I thank to the International Association of Geomorphologists, the Executive Council, selecting me for this and giving me this opportunity to this young man to sit among the galaxy of so much talented geomorphologists to whom I don't match. I am unconformal. If I use the term unconformity, geological, geomorphological unconformity, I feel myself very, very unconformal among the galaxy of the very senior geomorphologists. I would like to have your blessing, sir, so that I can survive and to guide and do some work and encourage the younger generation. And I don't think here in India, you know, this is the axe to cut. I think it is to cut the rocks. It is to cut the pebbles, the stones, and so many things. And I think it is to cut the hurdles that come in your way. You cut the hurdles and go through. Swim across the knowledge of geomorphology. This symbolizes, this stick symbolizes, and that may help after some time to walk also. No, it will not fit in me because I am a bit taller.
No, you are standing on a...
Oh. So once again, I thanks to the IAG, particularly the Executive Council and the core committee of the organizing committee of the country to forwarding my name. I am very, very grateful to them. I am very much obliged to them to select me for this honor. I don't think I deserve so much, but I again thanks to all of you who witnessed this thing this evening. Thank you Sunil, thank you Eric, thank you Eric. He is a very handsome president of IAG. It's very handsome. Clapping for our president, handsome president.
वहाँ पे बैठिए सर, फोटोग्राफ लेना है।
हाँ, कहाँ पे?
वहाँ पे बैठिए, फोटोग्राफ लेना है सर। Now, we are almost at the last stage. The chief guest, Professor Eric Fuesch, he is the Vice Chancellor of Paris Sorbonne University, Abu Dhabi, as well as the President of the International Association of Geomorphology, will deliver his address as the chief guest. But before that, one small function is there here with Professor Eric Fuesch. Our Indian Institute of Geomorphologists have launched their website, and it is designed under the direction of Professor Sunanda Bandhopadhyay of the University of Kolkata. I would request our President, Professor Eric Fuesch, to click on and open this website. Okay, just to declare it is okay.
So we declare open the website of the Indian Geomorphological Institute. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, national delegates, dear colleagues, dear students, dear friends, it is a great pleasure for me to welcome you in Delhi after Paris and Bernau at the 9th International Conference on Geomorphology. On behalf of the International Association of Geomorphologists, I would like to officially welcome all of you. Namaste, welcome, bienvenue. Nearly 500 geomorphologists from 63 countries participate in this conference. The people behind this success are our colleagues from the Indian Institute of Geomorphologists, and the credit goes particularly to the member of the organizing committee, and I would like to deeply thank particularly Professor Savindra Singh and Professor Sunil Kunardi. Thank you to both of you, but I know you will only be relieved when it will be really over. I would also to thank members of the scientific committee, the working group, and all the governors of the sessions who have provided proposals on the theme Geomorphology and Society. And I want to thank Mike Crozier, who has agreed to give a plenary lecture on that subject. It is also time for me, as well as for the whole team of the Executive Committee of the ICG, who accompany me to complete our mandate and pass the torch to a new team. Let me remind you that all the commitment to the ICG is voluntary and does not involve any particular material benefit. This commitment is very valuable and absolutely necessary for the visibility of our discipline. So do not commit yourself if you don't want to be an active member. This work, association work, community work, need a full involvement. So please, you know, we will have election. I request to all candidates to keep in mind that we need to continue to develop the association. This needs energy and time. Thanks to Marta Della Seta and Mauro Sodalti, we have a new and attractive website regularly updated. I would like to congratulate them. Thanks to Emmanuel Renard, our newsletter has never been so regular and informative. Thank you to the three vice presidents for their commitment. Xiaoping for the working group, Irasema for the international relationship, and Mauro for your huge involvement for young geomorphologists. I have also to thank you in person because due to my overcharge in Abu Dhabi, you had to represent me in a lot of workshops and events in the name of the ICG in Europe. So thank you for the job you have done. Xiaoping and Irasema did also a great work during last International Geography Conference in Beijing, where we succeeded to sign an agreement. Another result you will see tomorrow at the National Delegate meeting, that we propose to create some common working group between the two entities. Sunil Kunardi as General Secretary and Morgan de Dapper as Treasurer had to assume a regular and substantive follow-up on a regular basis. I deeply thank both of you. Thank you also for your visit in Abu Dhabi to prepare this meeting. We had regular meetings and it was very helpful. Few professions as rules allow us to interact with colleagues all around the world. It is a permanent enrichment, a fantastic opportunity. The scientific adventure is accompanied by a human adventure, and both are equally important. I recognize in this assembly colleagues, and I will forget some colleagues, but from Greece, from Italy, from Romania, from Turkey, with whom I work a lot in the last 30 years. This is a part of the experience of geomorphology we share on the field, and we share the scientific part as well as the personal part. From an institutional point of view, during this mandate, we have strengthened our institutional links with EGU, the International Geographical Union, and we have focused our effort on the young geomorphologists. Increasing our financial resources and our visibility outside the circle of geomorphologists remains one of the objectives to be pursued. I have no doubt that the new team will be able to tackle the subject. During this conference, the national delegate, you, will have to choose a new team led by a new president. The democracy can be exercised since two qualified candidatures, Professor Mauro Soldati and Professor Xiaoping, stand for the election. They will also have to choose the venue of our next regional conference and the next international conference. Please note that only countries which will have paid tuition fees or deliver a report or sign a document to confirm that they will pay their tuition fees before the end of this year will be authorized to vote. If you have any question, please refer to Sunil and to Morgan. Finally, I would like to extend my best wishes of success to all of you at the occasion of the exchanges at our conference, and also to wish all of you success. Whereupon I declare the 9th International Conference on Geomorphology open. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Eric Wesh, the President of the IAG. I would request Professor A.R. Siddiqui to offer the vote of thanks.
Good evening, all of you, honorable dignitaries on the dais and in the dais, participants from different parts of the world, all ordaining and scientific committee members, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to offer the vote of thanks in this auspicious occasion of 9th International Conference on Geomorphology. It is on the behalf of the organizing committee and IGI, University of Allahabad. First of all, I would like to thank our chief guest, Professor Eric Wesh, Vice Chancellor of Paris Sorbonne University and the President of International Association of Geomorphologists, to grace this occasion by his kind presence and to guide us in each and every step for making the mission a grand success. Thank you, sir. Within his busy schedule, the Director of the Defense Terrain Research Laboratory, DRDO, Dr. Mahen Bhutiani, has responded our cordial request to grace this grand occasion. As the guest of honor, we place on a record a heartfelt thank to Dr. Mahen Bhutiani. Thank you, sir. We are indebted to Professor Saven Singh, Doyen of Indian Geomorphology, living legend of Indian Geomorphology, Chairman of the Organizing Committee, and the President of Indian Institute of Geomorphologists, Allahabad University, for his continuous inspiration to make the conference a great success. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I do not have any language, any words to thank very dynamic Professor Sunil Kumar De, the Secretary General of International Association of Geomorphologists and the convener of this conference, and convener of the organizing committee, 9th ICG. Any words would be less to thank him. Give a big hand to Professor Sunil De. We deeply acknowledge the help and cooperation and thank to all core committee members of the organizing committee, scientific committee, and chairs of different technical sessions. We are thankful to the Geological Survey of India, GSI, Beta Analytic, Springer Publishing Company, 36th International Geology Congress, and Cambridge University Press for according their kind help through advertisement and contributing for the exhibition. We gratefully acknowledge the financial support rendered by Science and Engineering Research Board, SERB, DST, Government of India, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India, Defence Research and Development Organization, DRDO, Government of India, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, India, Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, India, and Geological Survey of India to organize this 9th International Conference on Geomorphology. We are thankful to International Geographical Union, European Geoscience Union, International Permafrost Association and Geomorphological Society of France for according their generous help and cooperation in organizing the joint session as well as bring out the young talent in geomorphology. This conference is being jointly organized by the Indian Institute of Geomorphology, Allahabad University, and the Department of Geography, Northeastern Hill University, Shillong, Meghalaya. On the behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank both of them. We must thank the official of Thomas Cook India Limited to organize the conference in such a very benefiting manner and gratefully acknowledge their tireless activities since the preparation of the bidding proposal till today. We are placed on record our heartfelt thanks to the concerned officers of the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India, Delhi Public Administration, Delhi Police, and the official staff and security officers, Vigyan Bhawan, for rendering their kind help and cooperation in making this conference a grand success. I must thank all the participants from different countries, from different part of the world, including young geomorphologists, because this conference would not be successful without their presence. I know many of you have faced severe problem in obtaining visa. Instead of that, your eagerness to participate this conference as well as to visit this beautiful country boosted up to work hard to give you utmost comfort. It is our strong belief that you will go back with sweet memories of this conference. Lastly, all other persons who have been working day and night behind the curtain to make the conference a successful one, we salute them. Please excuse me if I miss any name or organization. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much. We have some announcement immediately after this program. There is tea break, and I would request you to come back to this hall at 6:15. There will be a cultural program for about 2 hours in this hall. There will be 45 minutes tea break, high tea break, just outside this hall. And the abstract volume along with the signed certificate, the certificate which you have got in your bag, it was not signed. So signed certificate along with the abstract volume you will get in the post-lunch period tomorrow together. And in the bag you have got 3 books. One is Professor Starkel Memorial volume, not memorial, it is memoirs. Number 2, Geomorphosites of India, and number 3, tomorrow you will get. So with this announcement, this inaugural session is closed. I would request the IAG Executive Committee members to be present here, and rest of them I would request to proceed for tea. Thank you very much for your kind patience.
land of the highest, still rising mountains and great subsiding basins, the land of the highest rainfalls of Meghalaya and sandy deserts of Rajasthan, the land haunted by catastrophic floods and earthquakes, the land that is transformed by millennia of human activities, the cradle of great religions, the land of Mahatma Gandhi, Sri Ramakrishna, and Mother Teresa. In 1968, I got a chance to study the effects of catastrophic rains in the Darjeeling Himalaya and in the Meghalaya Plateau. Subsequently, an initial research project of the 1980s evolved into joint studies by the Krakow team and the geographers of North Bengal University, Northeastern University, and Calcutta University. And it spanned into 4 decades. These studies have resulted in many publications. Our participation in several meetings, and in the year 2006, organization of the Indo-Police Geomorphological Seminar in Shillong. Our contacts and cooperations outreached other scientific institutions, local and regional offices and organizations like Darjeeling Plant Association, societies of nature protection, like Save the Hills offices, schools, inhabitants of the villages and tea plantation. Everywhere we discussed the process that degrade the environment and best practices for prevention of catastrophic events, especially landslides. All these also contributed to enriched human relationships. I was always welcomed warmly in India and always felt that I was among the loved ones in my home. I feel these strong ties even now, although I would no longer be able to return to what I know as my second homeland. For all the meetings with the nature and the people of India, I like to express today my heartfelt thanks to you, dear Indian friends. And to all participants of the conference, I wish them the opportunity to see the sunrise over Kanchenjunga from Darjeeling. Best wishes for all. Have a great conference. Let's get started. Thank you. And there is the journal link, and where you can find out the journal, the link is there. Yes, you know, these Starkle's articles can be downloaded from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sunanda Bandyopadhyay. Now, the next book release is The Geomorphosites of India. It is edited by Professor V.S. Kale. I request Professor V.S. Kale to come on the dais to release the book with the dignitaries and to say a few words.
Hello. Dignitaries on the dais and other participants. There are very few countries in the world that have extraordinary geodiversity, and India is certainly one of them. And this atlas provides just a glimpse of some of the very popular, oft visited, scenic and beautiful places in our country. So this atlas includes only 36 such very popular and well-known sites in India, and each site is represented by a 3-page or 5-page, what I call as the description card, giving brief information about that site. I have to thank all the contributors from different universities and institutes in the country, and I have to especially mention the names of Professor Vaidyanathan, a very senior geomorphologist and geologist of the country, and Professor Sunanda Bandyopadhyay and Professor Sunil Dey for their support in bringing out this volume. I'm thankful to the organizers for printing this and for making copies available to all the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, the last book released on this climate change and related issues by author is Professor H.S. Sharma. I would request Professor Sharma to come on the dais to release the book with the dignitaries and to say a few words about the book.
Dignitaries on the dais, learned delegates from all over the world. This work on climate change and natural resources, a study of Indian desert, is the work conducted under Indian Council of Social Science Research Senior Fellowship Program between 2013 and 15. In this book, I have tried to analyze 112 years of rainfall data and temperature data, focusing that what changes are occurring in the Indian desert. Because Indian desert is very sensitive climatically. And 112 years data indicates that there is a significant change in the temperature conditions, particularly after 1980. And the mean temperature that has enhanced during this century is 0.74 degree centigrade, and there are 25 districts in the state which are showing a very significant trend in the climate. And so far as rainfall pattern is concerned in the state, there is no trend of rainfall pattern at a centennial scale. However, there is an increasing trend west of the Aravallis, particularly in the main desert area, because these areas are receiving more and more rainfall. So this change is visible, but there is no overall trend in the rainfall pattern in Rajasthan and particularly in the desert area. And there is a tremendous impact on water resources, problem of land degradation, and biotic references which are there. So on these resources, there is an impact of climate change in this Indian state. And this book tries to analyze the relationship between climate change and problem of desertification, problem of water resources, and problem of biodiversity in this particular area. One important thing in this book is that what is the perception of cultivators, farmers in different parts of the state. So we have tried to analyze on the basis of personally interviewing these areas and these respondents, and on the basis of that, we have tried to ascertain that what they feel about climate change, whether they are aware of these. So these are things which have been incorporated in this present study, and I think in the coming years, this book would be very helpful to the planner, particularly in the state of Rajasthan and Indian desert. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Professor Sharma. Now, I would invite the father figure of the Indian Institute of Geomorphology, the founder. From the very beginning, he remained the Secretary General of the Indian Institute, and from the last year, he has been the president of the Indian Institute, Professor Savinder Singh, to say a few words for the delegates.
Revered Professor Fauci, dignitaries on the dais, honorable delegates across the world and the country, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all on behalf of the Indian Institute of Geomorphologists, on behalf of our country, that is India, in this great conference. I have been asked to tell about the Indian Institute of Geomorphologists this evening here. This institute owes its genesis to the first IAG conference, which was held in Manchester under the convenership of Professor Ian Douglas. And I was there in the conference, and this necktie, which I purchased in Manchester in 1985, is the witness of that one. There, I stayed with Dr. late Vince Gardiner of Leicester University at his residence after the conference for a week. We discussed about forming such organization in our country. I came back to India and consulted the faculty of my department and some of the senior colleagues in the country, then decided to hold an international conference on geomorphology and environment in the Department of Geography, University of Allahabad in 1987. And those days, there were no computers, no mobile phones. Everything was to be done by hand. And you'll wonder that myself typed 6,000 letters on typewriter. 6,000 letters were typed by me on typewriter to send various delegates, various geoscientists in different countries, particularly UK, Spain, France, Germany, USA, etc., and in different departments of our country, geography department of our country. And half a dozen delegates from UK, Germany, not Germany, but Spain, Professor Sendrero, I think he was to come over here. They came in the conference, and about 400 geoscientists belonging to geography, geology, geophysics, life sciences, they assemble at the sacred confluence of two mighty rivers of the country, the Ganges and the Jamuna River, that is at Allahabad, known as Prayag. After 4 days deliberation, Vince Gardiner was there with his family in the conference. It was decided to form an organization of geoscientists who can assemble at a common platform to discuss, to deliberate different aspects of geomorphology, and research is being carried out in different parts of the country. You know that geomorphology in India had a back seat in the beginning, because the geography department, most of the geography departments were dominated by human geographers. But this conference, 1987, gave an impetus to the younger generation as well as the senior persons in geomorphology to come forward to do researches. I will deliberate all these things during my plenary lecture on 10th, not here. And thus the Indian Institute of Geomorphology was formed on 19th of January 1987. And I was elected the Secretary General of that conference. Since, with the headquarters, the Department of Geography, Allahabad University, since then, since 1987, I carried the donkey's load of Secretary General till 2016 because my colleagues did not allow me to leave this office. And what were the main aims of the conference, the organization? Number one, to collect the geoscientists in geography, geology, geophysics, and so on to come on a common platform through organizing national level conference in different departments of geography and geology and other institutes in the country, number one thing. We have till now organized 30 annual conferences of IGI, 30th. And second, to publish a journal, and previously it was named as Indian Journal of Geomorphology. We published 17 volumes, but later on a new series was started under the able leadership of Professor Sunando Bandyopadhyay, the Journal of Indian Geomorphology. Number three, to depute different persons in the different part of the country to undertake researches like erosion, soil erosion modeling, and so on, so collate all these information, findings in a common platform. Number four, to encourage the younger generation, because you know in India many of the departments, they don't have any trained geomorphologists to teach advanced geomorphology. That is the problem. But this institution, that is Indian Institute of Geomorphologists, in its member, that we have members around 600 till now, about 600, and they have worked so hard. And that's why in the PG level of students, postgraduate level of geography students, they are presenting so good paper, they are doing such a good researches for their MA level, MSc level dissertation. So I am very, very proud this evening that the first and second conference which I attended, number one in Manchester, the second one in '89 at Frankfurt University. In Manchester, I broke my wrist. And in Frankfurt, something happened to my neck. Then my wife took a promise, you will not cross over India. Because, you know, I came over here in my city with such a fractured hand with a plaster and so on. So unfortunately, I could not attend, but my representative, my colleague in the department, Professor A.R. Siddiqui, is taking the bantam. He went to Paris, he went to Moscow, he went to Vienna, and so on. So this is the position, you know, about this institution that was founded for these purposes. And I am very proud. And the person who is just now standing left to me, Professor Sunil Kumar Dey. You know, in our Hindu mythology, it is said that Ganga river never existed. It was brought by Bhagirath, King Bhagirath. And here I term Professor Sunil Kumar Dey as Bhagirath of Geomorphology, who brought IAG, this 9th IAG, to Delhi. You know, this is the example of first product of IGI. I saw him reading the papers, showing the slides in the beginning, 20 years back. But now, he has become international, he is the person, geomorphologist of international repute. So, I would like that all of us should clap for him. So, thank you all. I wish a very comfortable, enjoyable journey as well as stay at Delhi and to go back with a sweet memory as I have of Manchester conference. That was the place where we were served dinner and breakfast on a table sitting that there. And you know, where we were put in a hostel after every 4 rooms, there was a kitchen. We were given a key. That key was common to the room, common to the kitchen, and common to the main gate. Go in the kitchen, you can prepare tea because tea bag was there, coffee bag was there, milk was there, and small geyser were there. That facility, hats off, though I don't have hat here, hats off to Professor Ian Douglas, who I still remember how could he organize such a wonderful. So, thank you all, thank you all, thank you Sunil.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Savindra Singh. Now I would request our guest of honor, the Director of the Defense Terrain Research Laboratory, Dr. M.R. Bhutiani, to say a few words to the delegates.
Delegates on the dais, delegates off the dais, the delegates who have come from all over the world, different parts of the country, ladies and gentlemen. Well, at the outset, let me thank the organizers of this particular workshop, particular symposium, for inviting me as a guest of honor, especially when there are a galaxy of stalwarts sitting in front of me. And I'm really feeling very privileged. I'm really overwhelmed by this gesture on part of this particular organizing committee. Geomorphology as a subject, has fascinated me in different ways. In fact, I still remember my first course in geology in the BSc. The first book which was issued to me from the library was Arthur Holmes' Physical Geology. And that book had less of narrative, more of pictures. And those pictures were very fascinating. Some of the pictures of glaciers, some of the pictures of Grand Canyon, then some of the pictures of pedestal stones, some of the pictures of oasis, all those pictures fascinated me. That time I used to think whether I would get an opportunity to visit all these places. Well, that is the way I was baptized in this particular subject, and I started studying geomorphology with a lot of interest. And that gave me a sort of impetus. In fact, as my destiny would have it, I was destined to be a glaciologist. Then I also had an opportunity to visit all these places which I dreamt of that time, the Grand Canyon. In fact, when I saw the features like cirques, arêtes, then different features of horns of glaciers as they would appear in the book, and when I saw them actually on ground when I was working on Siachen, I literally said, well, this is a very wonderful science. The way it has cultured, it has literally carved the different facets on the surface of the earth. This particular subject is basically has to be studied with reference to its impact on the mankind, the society. Now, that is the apt theme this particular organizing committee has selected for this particular symposium. Because, everything has to be studied with reference to the mankind. In fact, with lots of changes occurring on the surface of the earth and the kind of impacts they are having on the mankind, it's tremendous, the kind of scenario of climate change. In fact, I still wonder when I visited my glaciers in Siachen, when my troops were deployed there, some of the sites which were not, prone to rockfall, they have become rockfall prone because the glaciers have receded. They have left behind those remnants of lateral moraines sticking on the terrain on both sides of the valley. Our troops are passing on a daily basis all those sites, and that is creating problems for them. So this is something which I said, well, I have to understand the mechanism, the processes behind the glacial recession. And again, keeping those aspects in mind, I have to advise my troops, well, don't go this side, select a proper site for the campsite. This is how I related my whatever baptism I had in the field of geomorphology with the actual conditions on the ground. Now, I think this particular conference is going to do the same thing with reference to society at large. I'm really thankful to the organizers for selecting a very apt topic for this symposium. Well, as I said, this contents, I have just gone through the abstract book and the contents. They're very tempting. In fact, there are so many papers which will be sort of presented by different authors. In fact, they pertain to my subject. In fact, I have studied Siachen in greater details and the way the glaciers have behaved in the Karakoram. Some of the topics they pertain to my field, the kind of degradation the permafrost is undergoing, the kind of, the changes, like some of the landslides, the debris flows, which were not heard of earlier in Karakoram Himalayas. They are occurring on a daily basis. There's quite a few papers I've seen on these themes will be presented here, and I'm really, I'm looking forward to such kind of enlightened debate in this particular symposium. I'm really thankful to the organizers for giving all of us an opportunity to be here and to enjoy this enlightening deliberations. So, well, once again, at the end of my small lecture, I would like to just thank the organizers for making this happen, for organizing such an event with such a military precision. In fact, wonderful ambience, wonderful settings, and I hope all of us will be able to enjoy this kind of ambience and will definitely contribute to the proceedings of this particular symposium. Once again, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. M.R. Bhutiani. Now, it's an honor for the International Association of Geomorphologists, as well as the honor for the organizing committee to felicitate some of the senior geomorphologists of the world for their contribution in geomorphology, as well as for their work in for this IAG. Firstly, I would request Professor G.B. Jolinski from Poland. He is the recipient of the Dennis Brunsden Model, and we are very lucky Professor Dennis Brunsden is online, and he will speak something in honor of G.B. Jolinski about this medal. Professor Brunsden.
It's just a very great experience for me to speak to you in this way. I'm sorry that I cannot be with you. I had a heart attack coming back from the Paris conference 4 years ago, and I now have a pacemaker and find travel difficult, but I am with you in spirit. I send you my warmest greetings, and to all my friends who attend this conference. I congratulate Sunil Kumar De for his hard work and the technician who is making this sport possible. And I wish that you will have a happy and productive time. I hope your lectures are good and that all your presentations work. My special good wishes I send to all my friends who may well be there. Olaf Slaymaker, Mario Panizza, Mike and Sally Crozier, Christine Embleton Hammam, Monique Faure, Marie-Françoise Andre, Iracema Alcantara from Mexico, Piotr Mignon, and if she is there, I would like you to welcome the wonderful, smallest geomorphologist in the world, Kumkum Bhattacharya. So many others of you that I can't mention. Now, I know there are many new young geomorphologists with you. I'm delighted to meet you. You are our future, so welcome. This is important to me. At the first conference in Manchester in 1985, and as your first president, and since then, I and others have worked very hard to create scholarships to bring you to us. All of this, of course, is only possible because of the work of Mauro Soldati. Without him, you would not be here, so I congratulate him. I send you all my love, but I have one other message for you. 4 years ago in Paris, the association paid me the great honor of creating the Brunston Award. This honors people who have worked tirelessly to promote the association. It was with pleasure that I heard that Professor Zibi Zolensky of Poland is the second recipient after Mauro Soldati. I am delighted because what most of you won't know is that soon after the Manchester conference, I was made an honorary member of the Polish Association of Geomorphologists.